a large part of the job of a successful financial planner over decades is to get people to say no and yes at the right time and the right reason. And often it's saying no a lot. Like you're asking people to say no to an emotion that they want to get out of the market. You're asking people to say no to spending. You're asking people to say no to a lot of things. This all started out of the goal to close the behavior gap, right? Like right. For 25 years, I've been trying to figure out how to close that.
Yep.
And the only thing I could find was to give them a bigger yes. Like in order to say no to all those things, I had to give them a bigger yes. I tried facts and figures. Don't you know the average bear market? Don't you know if you missed the 10 best days? Don't you know? Like that doesn't work. I tried goal-based planning. We all do goal-based planning. That didn't always work. I mean, it worked better than the other things we used to do. And then after that, I tried like a plan, and that worked better than facts and figures and goals. And it worked better than, but it's still, and so I was like, what's a succinct way to bring them back to what they said when they were thinking clearly, when they're in the middle of wanting to make a slightly, I'm going to just call it a slightly irrational, but it's at least slightly off plan decision. So if they call wanting to make one of those decisions, I like to think of it as just a scary market, right? Like scary market conversation. We can use this. Hey, Michael, before we dive into that, I understand you're scared, nervous. To be honest, when I watch the news, I get scared and nervous too right now. But before we dive into why and what we want to do about it, can I grab your file, right? What do you grab? You grab the one-page plan and you say, hey, let me just double check on something. When we first met, you told me time with your family, mainly outside, servicing your community. Is that still true? Yeah. Okay, cool. So we're taking them from way out here back to the foundation. What's sitting there? Purpose. So that's how it's used. It should be used. It's a living, breathing document. It's not meant to be filed. And then this last thing on changing, of course it changes. And I think we need to get better at actively looking for disconfirming evidence. Like sometimes we think if we change something, for some reason we're wrong. Like right. We were wrong, like we've made a mistake. And I think we need to flip that. Like there's a term in complexity theory, there's a term called error embracing. So in the statement of financial purpose, we should expect it to change. But having said that, on an interview yesterday, somebody asked me when I changed mine last. 15 years, right? Like it hasn't changed. And I was trying to anticipate when it would change. Time with my family, mainly outside, serving my community and church. I don't see that changing. Greetings, Carl here. Thanks for watching that little clip. You know, I love my conversations I have with Michael on our podcast, Kitces and Carl. Love them, love them, love them. You know what else I love? These conversations that I have once a month as part of the membership program over at the Society of Advice. It's crazy, right? I invite some of my favorite people, the smartest people, the most impactful people I can think of, to come have a conversation with me about the work that you do. These are conversations you cannot hear anywhere else, right? Sometimes they're with big, well-known authors and public thinkers, but often they're with people that you probably have never heard of, but will change your life. It's 90 minutes every month. It's called the membership. And you know what I think you should do? Here's an idea, crazy idea, but we've built this free trial. We've put some of my favorite little snippets of my favorite conversations for you to get an idea of what you're going to find on the inside, so you don't have to believe me. So just click the link and take a free trial, and then tell me what you think. Thanks, my friends.